About 2.5 millennium ago, a monster started opening the door that bridges the human realm to hell in order to make humans suffer. The Buddha appeared before this monster though and pulled out its red and black eyes, which happened to be the source of its power. Unfortunately, the eyes managed to escape Buddha's grasp and took off. The black eye was caught quite hastily though and locked inside a sarira casket. The red eye managed to get away, hiding inside different bodies and running for 7 nights straight. On the 8th night, the red eye was deceived. Realizing it could never escape Buddha, the eye voluntarily entered the sarira casket and waited. The caskets were then sealed and buried in the vast deserts of the west and the steep cliffs of the east, respectively. The Buddha said to his nameless disciples, "You must make sure they never meet again, that is your fate." In the present, Professor Kim Jun-chul sets out in the desert to prove the existence of the sarira caskets. He finds a relic which is presumed to be one of the caskets. However, the scientific community declares his findings to be fraudulent, and he is shunned by all. 14 years later, Professor Kim, now a bitter individual, is determined to prove the truth of his discovery by reuniting the black eye and red eye. He opens the casket and pours 6 vials of blood into it along with his own. Before Professor Kim is about to give up, the red eye emerges from the casket, presumably possessing Professor Kim. In Gwangju, Bante Ha-young, protector of the black eye casket, realizes the red eye has reawakened. He tells a young monk, Chong Seok, who is on a vow of silence from 2 years, the legend of the monster with 2 eyes. Later that night, Bante Ha-young tells Chong Seok that the red eye has awakened and will soon reunite with the black eye. They must slay at least the 7th pillar, the virgin shaman, to prevent the red eye from reuniting with the black eye. Chong Seok must find Bante Xianhua and inform him of the situation. The following morning, Chong Seok finds Bante Ha-young dead, who presumably died in his sleep. Chong Seok finds the sarira casket beside the dead monk. Meanwhile, in Chilgok, the red eye takes over a hunter and goes into a motel where a couple was seen checking in. The woman tells her boyfriend about a meditation group where she was given a free health checkup and a blood test. The hunter presumably attacks the couple who checked into the secluded motel. Detectives Kim Ho-tae and Dong Jin investigate the scene and find the hunter's body dried and decomposed after just a few hours. Cameras show that the woman was seen leaving the hotel. Later on, the very same woman is found in another location, her body found in a similar state as that of the hunters. Due to the bizarre condition of the 2 victims, Dong Jin suggests the help of a virgin shaman that he knows. However, being a skeptic, Kim refuses the idea. Chong Seok leaves Gwangju in search for Bante Xianhua. Unfortunately, he had lost his bag containing the casket and some money. He presumed that it was taken by a young girl who disappeared into the crowd. Chong Seok finds Xianhua, who is now a construction worker using his real name, Park Jinsu, and tells him, via writing, due to his vow of silence, of what happened in Gwangju. In his flashbacks, it is revealed by Ha-young's spirit that Xianhua left the monastery as he didn't want to be Ha-young's successor. Xianhua also neglected his duty of helping lost souls ascend, so their countless souls are clinging to his back. The following morning, Xianhua prepares to leave and search for the 7th pillar with Chong Seok following him. Xianhua presumes that the 7th pillar is the virgin shaman with which the monks of Gwangju are acquainted. Xianhua treats Chong Seok well, even buying him a new pair of shoes. Chong Seok thanks Xianhua, accidentally breaking his vow of silence. Meanwhile, the red eye had already planned to move on from the woman at the motel. A delivery man answers her call as both of them were members of a meditation group. The red eye then passes on to the delivery man, and later, Detective Kim is called to see the body of a woman stuffed in a sewer. The woman is also found decomposed and drained like the first 2 victims. A motorcycle and delivery cargo is also found abandoned nearby. Before boarding the bus, Xianhua was visited again by Ha-young's spirit. It is revealed that Chong Seok's mother accidentally ran over Xianhua and his wife and daughter. His wife and child died, compelling Xianhua to live a life as a monk in Gwangju. When Chong Seok's mother died, she wrote a letter to Xianhua asking him to adopt Chong Seok. Xianhua does so, but leaves him in Gwangju. He then left the monastery and his duties, never becoming an ordained monk. As they arrived, Xianhua tells Chong Seok to search for shaman services around the area, hoping to find the virgin shaman. Upon learning of the recent bizarre murder, Xianhua goes to the tunnel where the woman and delivery motorcycle was found. Detective Kim stops him, asking for Sinhua's credentials and ran his ID for any criminal records. When Kim asks Xianhua to open his bag, which contained an axe, Sinhua tried to run away. The two got into a scuffle, and Sinhua was forced to leave his map. Chong Seok finds the house of the virgin shaman, and a young woman lets her in. She was the same young woman who took his belongings, but Chong Se-ok grew fond of her. Chong Se-ok leaves, but as soon as he stepped outside, he sees a student staring at him. The student revealed the red eye, being the sixth pillar. Chong Se-ok runs away in fear, and meets with Seon-hwa to inform him of what happened. Sun-hwa tells Chong Se-ok to go back home, and reveals that he has to kill the young woman who he believes to be the seventh pillar and the virgin shaman. They go on their separate ways, but Chong Se-ok went back to the virgin shaman and took the virgin shaman away. Meanwhile, Dong-jin informs Kim of Seon-hwa's past. They were also able to connect the victims together. They were all members of a meditation group that Professor Kim had set up, and Dong-jin had actually went to see one of them who was still alive, a woman who was the same virgin shaman Chong Se-ok unknowingly went to. Dong-jin had a talisman with his own blood made, thanks to the virgin shaman he met earlier, and gives it to Kim. It turns out that Kim saved Dong-jin from committing suicide, and he was indebted to Kim. Kim had Dong-jin leave while he uses Sun-hwa's map to see if he could track down Sun-hwa. Sun-hwa finds the house of the virgin shaman, but the lady inside points to a note. When Seon-hwa confronts the lady, she strapped her face with talismans and Sun-hwa prepared to strike her down. Detective Kim arrives in time to stop him, and the two squared off once more. Before Kim handcuffs Sun-hwa, the possessed student arrived and threw him away, with the talisman he got from Dong-jin protecting him from further harm. The student realizes that the young woman had already left, and Sun-hwa follows her, inscribing a talisman on his axe using his own blood. However, the student runs into Dong-jin, tricking the young detective to protect her from Seon-hwa. She possesses Dong-jin, and dries and decomposes. Dong-jin doesn't kill Seon-hwa, but tells him to head back to Gwangju, where he will die. Meanwhile, Chong Se-ok took the young woman to Gwangju, and Seon-hwa and the possessed Dong-jin arriving later. Detective Kim went back to the virgin shaman's house, and it is revealed that the lady who nearly died was the actual virgin shaman, and that the young woman Chong Se-ok was with is actually a ghost that she found living with Professor Kim. The real virgin shaman reveals that her name was Aeron, who was an abused child that was saved by Professor Kim. Professor Kim had groomed her to be the sacrifice that will assist the monster from reuniting its two eyes. Professor Kim also tricked the members of the meditation group into donating their blood, via the free blood tests, in order to use their blood to summon the red eye, and later becoming the 7 stepping stones. Aeron latched onto the virgin shaman, and she used her to trick Dong-jin into giving his own blood, so he could be possessed later on in lieu of the virgin shaman. It was also this virgin shaman, possessed by Aeron, who took the casket Chong Se-ok was carrying days ago. Detective Kim leaves to Gwangju in search for Dong-jin. Seon-hwa finds Chong Se-ok in an abandoned shack, and the young monk realizes that he was all alone from the start, with the casket being in his possession. Seon-hwa instructs Chong Se-ok of their plan to trap Dong-jin, let the red eye possess him instead, and Chong Se-ok delivering the killing blow. The plan goes well, and they manage to trap Dong-jin inside. However, Dong-jin revealed that neither Aeron nor the virgin shaman were the 7th pillar he needed. Aeron's purpose was to bewitch the 7th pillar, Chong Se-ok. Because Seon-hwa left the monastery and didn't become Ha-young's successor, the title was transferred to Chong Se-ok. This meant that only Chong Se-ok has the ability to open the casket containing the black eye. Dong-jin orders the ghost of Aeron to find Chong Se-ok, who was hiding nearby. Still bewitched, Aeron was able to remove Chong Se-ok's robe, which had a talisman Seon-hwa made. Dong-jin orders Seon-hwa to shoot himself for being such a failure in life, but Seon-hwa shoots Dong-jin instead, though futile. Chong Se-ok runs away from the possessed Dong-jin, and encounters Detective Kim. Detective Kim tries to stop Dong-jin but was again thrown violently to the side, once again protected by Dong-jin's talisman in his pocket. Seon-hwa manages to shoot Dong-jin's weak left leg. But Dong-jin crawls to Chong Se-ok in pursuit. Seon-hwa delivers a killing blow to Dong-jin's back, but he got shot by Detective Kim. Detective Kim goes over to Dong-jin, but his corpse dried and decomposed. The red eye has successfully possessed Chong Se-ok, and it throws Detective Kim onto a sharp branch, killing the detective. As the black eye materializes, the red eye grabs the dying Seon-hwa. It transforms itself to a young version of Chong Se-ok, and torments Seon-hwa into strangling the young boy, seeing as his mother was the cause of his family's deaths. However, Seon-hwa persists, caressing the young boy's cheek. The red eye reverts back to the grown-up Chong Se-ok, and was about to kill Seon-hwa with the axe. Seon-hwa traps Chong Se-ok's arm while chanting a spell. As he was caressing Chong Se-ok's face, he was actually writing another talisman using his own blood onto Chong Se-ok's face. This forced the red eye to possess Seon-hwa, and he asks Chong Se-ok to kill him. Chong Seok gathers the courage to do so, killing Sion Hua and stopping the reunion of the Red Eye and Black Eye in the process. Chong Seok is later seen in the border of India and Pakistan, and returns the casket back to where it was first unearthed. A-Run appears before him, and Chong Seok offers up his hand. As A-Run's spirit grabs Chong Seok's hand, the chains on her ankles were unchained, presumably freeing her.